My name is Justin, and this is Ryan, and he's my right-hand man, and my sidekick. And we're in a band together. Not that kind of band! The kind of band that has performed thousands of shows all over the world, including 3,000 shows on the Las Vegas Strip. What are you doing? Not that kind of Vegas, this kind of Vegas. Now we turn our attention to doing good in the world, spreading our love, and inspiring others. So, welcome to our world of chaos
and kindness.
You were late. On this episode of Chaos and Kindness, we take our monster truck to Goffstown, New Hampshire, the birthplace of recycled percussion. As the world faces one of the most severe pandemics in history, we do all that we can do to lift the spirits of the community and bring some entertainment to the residents that helped us become the band that we are today. But first, we take it to the kitchen for some quarantine creativity. Check it out. Welcome to the Recycled Percussion Kitchen. In today's day and age, you have to be ultra creative in how you make music. So today, we have 12 blenders, each filled with a different amount of water to make music. And this is how it goes. Give me a beat. That's how you make rock and roll music in your kitchen. Woo! Recycled Percussion has come a long way in the 25 years, but a lot of the concepts that made the band successful started a long time ago.
I have this thing I want to do, someday before I pass away is do a thing where it's like noise around drums. Like one song is just in the kitchen, like get the water running, the blender going, and stop playing the sink inside the kitchen.
Recycled Percussion started when I was 17 years old in high school. The idea was to win a talent show. So me and a couple friends grabbed all the things we could from our parents' garages and we set out to become rock stars. We didn't have the big productions of a Las Vegas show quite yet, but we did have a lot of creativity and passion, and that's what helped propel us in the early days. Through the years, we've had a remarkable career, from performing the Grammys to the Super Bowl, to being a regular on the TV show America's Got Talent, and then spending 10 years performing 500 shows on the Las Vegas Strip. And of course, now having our very own TV show, Chaos and Kindness. But none of this would be possible if we didn't have that little talent show where Recycled Percussion made its debut, and having the amazing residents in the community of Goffstown in the beginning to help propel us and cultivate us into the act we are today. With our 25th year anniversary approaching, the only place that felt fitting to visit was Goffstown, New Hampshire. And while this pandemic's going on, we can't have a big concert. We did what we felt was necessary and packed up our monster truck, brought some kindness to the community, and had a great time. So today we're in Goffstown, New Hampshire, the very first town that Recycled Percussion started in 25 years ago. We're driving around, safely handing out toys, gifts, and just bringing happiness to people in this town. And the community support is unbelievable. The amount of signs and just setups that people have is crazy. Check it out. My mind was blown, just pulling through the town of Goffstown.
It was unreal the amount of people that were just outside waiting for us to stop by.
You can tell people were so happy to have something to look forward to today.
It was clear that the people of Goffstown needed a day like this, where they could get outside, see some positivity, share in a community event safely, and it felt great to be the provider of that. Driving the truck around and giving out gifts is great, but we wanted to go one step further. We wanted to bring the biggest gift that we could, and that's a gift of our talents and entertainment. Coming up after the break, the Chaos and Kindness Mobile greets hundreds of eager families. We step up the chaos and we inspire the town with one final performance.
So don't ever think you can't come from Goffstown and be something. So today we're in Goffstown, New Hampshire, the very first town that Recycled Percussion started in 25 years ago.
We expected there to be some families and fans waiting outside for us when we got there, but when we actually arrived in these neighborhoods,
whew, we came fully loaded with sanitized swag for the whole town, and every time we saw people outside waiting for us, we'd give them something, or at least say hello and show our appreciation.
Now it was time for a little performing. And what better place to perform in Goffstown than Ground Zero, where it all started, on 2nd Avenue, where I grew up as a kid. Our very first ever rehearsal took place in the house on that street. So that's where we set out for our very first performance. It was clear that the residents of 2nd Ave in Goffstown, New Hampshire, they were very prideful that we were from there. When we got there, the community had come together, they had matching shirts, they had a positive vibe, and that was a great way for us to start the day. Now that that performance was complete, it was time for us to tour the rest of the town.
I love the style.
I love the sign.
Thank you. Here's some bracelets.
I love the drum.
Happy Easter.
How are you guys?
The support was just incredible. People turned their driveways into huge welcome banners using chalk. There were signs all over people's yards. Even the people inside their houses were waving in the windows. It was crazy.
I feel like there was a family on every single lawn and in every single driveway in town. People were showing up out of nowhere. Empty parking lots, busy roads.
One lady was so excited to see us, she walked through the woods.
How are you?
Excellent!
Lost one of her shoes.
I ran so fast I lost my shoe in the mud.
And didn't care at all.
Hey, thanks, guys.
As we pulled into one of these neighborhoods, we realized that we had this long accruing line of cars, trucks, motorcycles that had been following us for several miles, so we decided to just hop out of the truck. How are we doing, guys? And tried to give a little something to everybody that was in line behind us.
Let's go!
Come on, baby.
This is insane! This is crazy!
Like that. Thank you, too. Hey, how you guys doing? What's going on here? Come on, Thank you. Yeah, happy weekend. This one's cool, huh? What do you guys say?
Thank you.
Here you go, sweetheart.
This is what it's all about, bringing smiles to people's faces.
Everyone was just so happy, and that is exactly the reason that we came back here. Should we play some drums or what?
As we're driving down the road, we could hear drums, and when you're a drummer, you know. And we look out the distance, and there's a little version of me, back in the day on the side of the road, playing drums. And we had to stop.
Oh, here we go,
Coming up after the break.
There were like 20 ladders with 500 kids on them. It was so cool to see people performing for us.
Don't ever think you can't come from Goffstown and be something.
Today we're in Goffstown, New Hampshire, the place I grew up and the birthplace of Recycled Percussion. And we're taking the Chaos and Kindness monster truck house to house, lawn to lawn, to raise the spirits of the locals. Of course, we've spent the last 10 years in Las Vegas, but New Hampshire's always been home. It's a great place that I've always felt has a great culture, a great community, and I've always enjoyed that prideful feel that the Granite State has. And that's very evident in the town of Goffstown, where I grew up. Looking around at the place I used to wash dishes at when I was 15 years old, the places I used to walk to school, through the woods, all those great memories that I had growing up in Goffstown, they all came rushing back as I drove through the town, saw the people, and it made me feel great that the people still appreciated that we came back to see them after all these years.
The crew we had here in Goffstown today was awesome. We had the Goffstown police who escorted us every step of the way, myself, Justin, and Tony in the Chaos and Kindness monster truck, and behind us in the Hummer, we had our amazing assistant Wendy and my best buddy Davin handing out toys and greeting residents all day. How much did you like helping people in Goffstown? A lot? Yeah. You had fun? Yeah. Were the people happy or sad when we got there? Happy? Yeah.
All day long, we were getting hit on Facebook, Instagram, our assistants were texting us, all these addresses of people who've got these elaborate setups who want us to stop by and share the love.
It was pretty overwhelming to see the time and energy that all of these families and our fans had put into these elaborate setups on their front lawns. And I wish that we could spend several hours with each of them because I know how much work that took. But our goal was to get around to as many people as we could today, so we had to pack it all in and keep moving.
It was so cool to see people performing for us. We've been driving around all day for hours, and it was cool to change things up. You can totally tell the kids were waiting to show us their skills all day.
It's just like the real thing.
It's 10:30 this morning waiting for you guys.
This family said that they had been waiting for us since 10:30 this morning, and it was almost sunset. It was just humbling to know that these people dedicated their entire day to that few minutes of joy that they would experience when and if we made it to their home.
The most insane setup was a setup that somebody had in their driveway with all these different ladders.
These kids were crazy. There were like 20 ladders with 500 kids on them.
Of course, Recycled Percussion became famous on America's Got Talent performing on ladders, so we had to show these kids what's up.
Tony, grab a drum.
These kids are good. They're coming for my job. I need to go practice.
The whole day was filled with stuff we weren't used to. People were standing 6 feet away from us, we were wearing masks, we kept sanitizing our hands, and the merchandise we gave out. But we were willing to do anything to make the people happy and also be safe about it.
While we're used to huge theaters sold out and big concerts where everybody's packed together, the residents had to do a good job social distancing, staying with their families, but we could tell that they still appreciated the aspect that we were performing for them, and they could feel the energy that we were giving off, and that's really what mattered for us.
The driving felt non-stop today. Even when we were hungry and exhausted, we just kept driving because we knew that there were still many people who were outside waiting for us, and we didn't want to let anybody down.
Goffstown has been there for us since the very beginning. It's now time for us to return that favor and bring it back to them in these trying times. We did a lot of performing throughout the entire day, but none was more special than the one that was just up the street from Goffstown High School, where our very first performance happened at that talent show. That was the final performance of the day, and for me, meant the most.
Now listen, kids. I went to Goffstown High School down the street. And I grew up in Goffstown. And then of course we went on to have a lot of success, and we've been in Las Vegas for 10 years. So don't ever think you can't come from Goffstown and be something, all right? All ready?
It's mind-blowing to think that 25 years ago, I had this idea to perform a high school talent show with me and a couple buddies, some trash cans we found in my dad's garage, even stole his kitchen sink. How that would blossom into becoming a massive global brand, 6,000 shows, performing all over the world, and headlining our own show in Las Vegas. It's hard to wrap my head around that that actually became a reality, and that's a dream I had since I was a kid. We've worked so hard for this, and to bring that back to the streets of Goffstown 25 years later, when they're faced with adversity, to bring smiles to all the homes, and it was incredible how many houses showed their support. Hundreds and hundreds of people outside, waving, smiling, being appreciative that we took the time and our energy to come back and say thank you. I wasn't really sure what to expect, but Goffstown exceeded my expectations. With only 2 days' notice to prepare, the town came together, they rallied, and they showed what community spirit is all about. Even though we were all physically apart, we were more connected and together than ever before. It makes me feel so thankful that I came from a town that never forgot where we came from, and that we can give back to that town, and we can always call Goffstown home. There'll never be another Recycled Percussion performance that ever goes without me thinking about how it all started. That's how much it means to me. And for all the people who came out to support us in Goffstown, I want to say thank you. And we will never forget where we came from. So remember, in a world full of chaos, it's important that all of us continue to show our kindness. Recycled Percussion started when I was 17 years old in high school. Through the years, we've had a remarkable career, but none of this would be possible if we didn't have that little talent show where Recycled Percussion made its debut. And now, let's rewind to where it all began.
Did you help edit this episode?
Yeah.
Are you a good editor?
Yeah.
The town spirit was unreal. Wherever we went, people were smiling and they were just I'm horrible today.
I got one more. What's your favorite musical?
Mama,